welcome back from Israel.
Thank you. I cannot tell you how incredible that trip was.
I'd like you to tell me how incredible it was. This is
Well, I'll tell you what. These are the I found it to be historic, stimulating, friendly, delicious. The Red Sea, the Dead Sea, gave me a little bit of a challenge. I never quite got to float. I sunk all the way to China in the mud. I panicked. I found the people that the people I met were amazing. The artist Ms. Gun, Elena, I think, in Tel Aviv, or in Jaffa, actually. This incredible professor from Georgetown, I want to say Wilf. I'm not very good because I'm so dyslexic, I can't remember everything. And she is her premise is feminism and Zionism. And she made us an incredible lunch in her apartment with the the new ambassador to Bulgaria.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just telling you. Then I had a great lunch with Quentin Tarantino. I had a great dinner with Lior Raz and his family and friends. It was just amazing.
You had the meal with Tarantino at his house?
No, at the hotel. About 2-hour meal. And I met him at Adam Sandler's wedding all those years ago. We shook hands. That was it. So it was pretty great.
So I sent you a copy of my book. I don't know. It looks like you got my book. Good. And Tim Blake Nelson was nice enough to introduce us.
He is such a talented human being. So as soon as I saw his name, I called him, and I said, "Of course, I will do this."
I don't know if you knew that he had made a Holocaust film.
I did not know that, but it doesn't surprise me. He is an eclectic actor.
His film, The Gray Zone, I contend, is the greatest Holocaust film ever made.
Wow.
I lecture at Yad Vashem, and I have an entire chapter. And the reason I wrote the book was to explain why his movie was the greatest ever made.
Wow.
So when you get to chapter 6, you'll see it.
Well, when this is over, I'm going to immediately scan to chapter 6.
Thank you. So we have. You've been such a light in my life, and
thank you.
So interesting. I'm dyslexic,
yes.
Also, and like you, I've striven to overcome it in ways that are difficult in fields that involve a lot of words.
Well, ditto. I mean, everybody says to me over the years, "Wow, you picked a profession where you have to read a lot," and I don't read. I learn through my ear.
So the computer, one of your techniques is you have the computer read to you?
No, I just have to go over it and over it and over it really slowly, multiple times.
I also wanted to tell you that our paths have somewhat crossed more than once.
Huh.
The woman who I live with, who I grew up with in Portland, spent a Seder with you at Harvey Field's.
Oh my goodness. Now, let me tell you, that was when I was doing Scrooge, the Christmas story. It took me a long while to say yes to that because it scared me so. So many unbelievable actors played Scrooge. And here I was, a young pisher, and I didn't think I could do it justice. We shot it up in Toronto and just above in Guelph and other little towns. And we had no place to go for Passover. So we called the Peach Blossom Temple or something like that got Harvey Fields. He invited us to his house. I met Howie Mandel, the young, beautiful woman you live with. And they became very good friends. And his son is now a wonderful writer and did The Americans, the series The Americans.
They're sort of family friends, the Fields, but yeah, she told me, I think it was in 84, 80.
That's very possible. No, a little later than that, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I just saw Howie Mandel, excuse me, in Miami, because I was speaking in Boca Raton the day before I got on the plane to go to my on my trip to Israel for the first time. And Howie was there, and we talked about Harvey Field. So here we are. It's amazing. The universe is amazing.
It is. I'll make it even more amazing for you. You were in AZA when you were a kid, when you were in high school, were you not?
Yeah, I was. What is APA?
AZA, B'nai B'rith, BBYO. AZA.
I might have been with the temple. My parents helped start a German Jewish temple in Manhattan called Congregation Habonim, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. But so I might have been through them.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you were, because in 1979 you were awarded at the Century Plaza Hotel the Man of the Year for the organization.
Yes, but and Gary Marshall presented it to me. Right? I mean that.
You know, the person, I'll show you a picture of, because I have a picture of it.
Yeah, but you know what? They just asked me. I was actually, I don't know that I was a member. I'm not a good joiner. I don't join clubs. I don't join golf clubs. I don't think I was a member, but they did honor me, and that was lovely.
Well, I want to show you this. The reason that it's interesting is, you see you there?
I am. I have that chauffeur still.
So the young woman behind there?
Yeah.
That's my sister.
Oh, hi.
Who was presenting it to you. She was the international president of the organization.
All right. Well, then that was the first time. The second time was in the Valley, and Gary presented.
So yeah, so that's been in our family lore, that you that you were the BBYO Man of the Year.
Wow.
We take very seriously, because my sister was the international president, my father was, and my brother was. So BBYO for us was, I guess, like happy days for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you've had an incredible career, and IMDb lists you with hundreds and hundreds of credits, more than there are Holocaust films.
Yes.
An amazing array. And the thing that I find most interesting, and I've done a deep dive into your work, is that most of your characters are one way or another Jewish. Seem Jewish.
Well, if they're not Jewish, they have Jewish underpinnings. They have the precepts of my understanding of my soul and my Jewishness.
Yeah, but like in Holes, the father seemed Jewish.
Let me see that.
Just don't grab it out of their hands.
Why not?
Because you're going to make them angry.
I don't care about me.
Would you like a piece of cake?
Yeah, well, because I had one line in the script, and I ad-libbed most of that film.
And of course in Arrested Development.
Those are balls.
What?
This close, they always look like landscape. Nope, you're looking at balls.
Oh, yes. But Mitch Hurwitz, the brilliance behind that series, is Jewish. And you know, and again, I am playing him, so I don't stop that the essence of my Jewishness from coming out. I mean, I think even the Fonz just has the precepts of Judaism in his Italian Catholic self.
Hey, you looking for a fight? I tell you something, I'd love to fight you, but there is a law in Milwaukee that says no cruelty to animals.
It reminds me of they had a night for Mike Nichols that AFI did, and Dustin Hoffman got up and spoke about when he auditioned for Benjamin Braddock, and he told Mike Nichols, he said, "This must be some kind of a joke because I'm not a big track star and I'm not a wasp." And Mike Nichols said to him, "So do you think you're too Jewish for this part?" And he said, "Well, frankly, yeah."
And he said, well, maybe he's Jewish inside.
Which, you know, gives a whole new twist that
Yeah,
you have this Holocaust refugee Mike Nichols and
Right.
Buck Henry writing a Jewish character in where none existed. And it makes a lot more sense in the film how iconoclastic he was. But also in Barry, he wasn't outwardly Jewish, but then you said, but then there was this one moment, I don't know if you remember, when he was quoting, when he was doing Braveheart.
I want to do something inspirational and entertaining.
So you thought you would plagiarize Mel Gibson? I'm Jewish. What the fuck, Barry? You were in a war and you give us pizzicacca.
Right.
Which,
Right.
so it's just amazing because you take like Woody Allen, who his Jew is not your Jew. I mean, his Jew is self-loathing and running away from it, and your Jew is just embracing all the fine aspects of it.
Well, I have to say that, you know, after everything is said and done, I am so proud of the idea that for 5,000 years, people have tried to eradicate the Jews, and for 5,000 years, they have been contributors to every society in every way. You know, it just is the tenacity and the survival and the family of it all. I just wish that when I was younger, the Seder was shorter.
Yeah, or they would have given you real wine, and then you could have really enjoyed it instead of that.
Oh man!
Instead of the Concord grape.
Yeah, it just went on forever. My Seder is we get to washing of the hands pretty quick in my house with my grandchildren.
Yeah. So, have you seen any Holocaust films that have had an impact on your life?
You know, yes, I, you know, It's a Beautiful Life, Schindler's List, the man in the striped pajamas or the boy in the striped pajamas. I never think about, I never think of it in those terms. When I watch a film, I'm either moved or I'm not moved, whether it is a Holocaust film or not. I know that my parents, who were amazingly difficult people, I was amazed hearing the stories of my father's thinking out how to survive and get out of Germany.
And he did.
He did.
He did. So, but none of these projects have ever come across your desk.
I have never been presented with a Holocaust film that I was asked to do. No.
Well, I saw your entire both seasons of Better Late Than Never.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I usually go to town. I have a lot of fun making fun of The Sound of Music, which you guys did so beautifully.
The hills are alive
with the sound of music.
Am I doing it?
The hills are alive.
Is it like the movie? I'm okay.
And William Shatner saying, Christopher Plummer hates this movie. And I've used that clip when I teach it I've used the clip of your show at Yad Vashem.
My friend Chris Plummer was in it, and I hated that movie.
Gesundheit.
We were there. We were just there at, and I'm so sorry that I don't remember our guide's name, but her mother is in on one of the walls, and she tells the story of her mother getting out and her mother's fiance getting out, and how they found each other. But she doesn't let us know it's her mother until the end of the tour. And she was amazing. It was there I am so unbelievably moved. And I have to tell you that I think now in America, I sometimes feel the brown shirts breathing on my neck. And I don't want to be the German population that had to leave their apartment with a suitcase that they never saw again.
It's an amazing. I was at the old Yad Vashem before they built what you went through.
Yeah.
What you're going through is what we regard as the new one, which is now 17 years old or something. But they did a great job, and when you walk out at the end and you see these beautiful hills in front of you, and it gives a message. It's so. But in Better Late Than Never, there was. We'll get to yours in a second, but you went back to William Shatner's Lithuanian,
right? And we did the horror in the town square, where they were pretty efficient at rounding up the Jews.
Have you ever seen so many churches? There used to be so many churches, Terry, of every religion. And then they started fighting. Eliminated them, huh? And synagogues.
Right. And you guys put a really brave face on it, but that was a tough place and a tough episode. And then your amazing, wonderful episode in Berlin.
My journey to find my roots was amazing. To touch the entryway to the temple where my parents got married, even though I didn't like them, was deeply moving. But to find the toe stone, to look down and see Helmut Winkler, who I heard about and had never any connection to, and now he's right there in the pavement, and was more than I imagined. I was not prepared for the emotionality.
Helmut Theodor Winkler is my father's brother I never met. And he was deported in 1942 to Auschwitz. And he died the 31st of January, 1942.
And then there was a letter waiting for you.
Yes.
From your kids. It was really raw.
Dear Daddy, the touchstone honors your uncle Helmut. He lived and worked here until perishing in the Holocaust. Your father Harry also worked here and lived next door, but a different path led him to New York City, where he started our family.
I mean, you guys, you didn't spare anything in that, and I understand.
No, that was the producer, Jason Ehrlich. who did a brilliant job on both seasons. On both seasons. And you know what? After everything is said and done, can you believe that was a job? That was my job, that show.
But listen, lunatic, it sounds mean with the sticks.
That I got to experience that show in my life is a mitzvah. It's like, I don't know, tzedakah from, I don't know. It's just amazing. Oh, so I had this great thing. A rabbi at the temple that I spoke at in Boca the night before I got on the plane to go to Israel, gave me $10. And he said, give this, give this to charity. I said, well, what am I going to, how do I know? I don't even know what to do. So I put it in my wallet. And then the Mallah HaMovis of the temple, Steve Allen, gave me money, put that in my wallet. So we get off the bus outside a tiny synagogue and a tiny congregant comes out. And so I take the first money and put it in the box on this tiny synagogue. Then we are at the 6th station of Christ and the Cross, right? In this narrow street inside the old city of Jerusalem. And across from the 6th or the 7th, I think it's the 6th, is this hole in the wall, a falafel sandwich. I love a falafel sandwich. I love hummus. So we go in, and there are these two young men inquiring about the sandwich. They are, this touches me, I don't know why. Two young men from South Korea studying at the yeshiva. I mean, my mind was blown. They didn't have enough for the sandwich and a drink, and I took the rest of my money from the rabbi and bought them lunch. And I don't know why that was so satisfying to me. These two young fellows from South Korea.
The halacha, I don't know if you know the Jewish law regarding that they gave you the money, and the reason for it was, did they explain to you exactly what the purpose was?
They said charity. They said,
right,
give this away and you'll know.
They sent you to do a mitzvah.
Right.
And
well,
so the idea is that you can't be harmed as long as you're on your way to doing a mitzvah. So they gave it to you to protect you.
Oh, wow. That's very thoughtful.
Right. So people usually, when they hear that somebody's taking a long journey, they'll give you $1 just for that.
They never in my life has that happened before. This was the first time I was confused. Now that you tell me that, I am indebted to these two men that they took care of me and my wife, and because I was not harmed, thank God. But I had no idea. And then it came to me each time, this is right.
The old city is magical.
Oh, and then I have thought about prayers in the old wall. So we go on a Saturday. It is Shabbos. Can't take a picture. I don't know if God is going to strike me, but I took a picture. And I saw everybody was putting it in. And then there was a hole high in the wall. And I wrote 27 prayers in the hotel room on little slips of paper, yellow paper. I pulled over a chair in the pouring rain. I stood up on the chair and I shoved all 27 prayers in this hole high in the wall. I thought at least they had a shot of staying there a little longer. And that was satisfying. That, oh, here it is. I'm just going to show you. There's the chair.
Uh-huh.
And there's the hole.
Do you know, by the way, what happens to those notes in the wall after? I mean, what?
Yes, but it doesn't, I don't care that someone comes and cleans them out for the next bunch, because they've been in there and it's already taken care of.
Right.
I don't think that they have to disintegrate into dust to do their work.
No. They make sure that they put them in a safe place where God can go to them. They keep them all in one nice place. And
but how many millions of pieces of paper must they have?
And languages.
And languages. I was astounded by how many there were. And then it was raining and some of them, like, you know, fell out of the bottom holes and were soaking wet and bled, you know, you couldn't read them anymore. So
do you know if any of your prayers have been answered?
You know what? I don't. I just assume that when you put them in, God gets it. You know, when I was in synagogue, when I was younger, I couldn't have, I'm so dyslexic, I couldn't read Hebrew. I memorized some of the words of some of the songs, so it looked like I was participating, but I always knocked on the chair in front of me and I said, look, I know a lot of people today on Yom Kippur are asking for your attention. Just a second. I don't want you to give me, I want you to just give me the ability to get where I want to go. Thank you. That's how I did it. So I figured if it was that quick then, and here I am, put them in the wall, done.
You're saving God time. You're making
I do,
it more.
You know what? He's got, the man or the woman he's got a lot on his mind. He's got a lot on his plate. I just wrote a codicil to my will that I'm going to be buried with my fishing rod because I love to fly fish for trout. One of my colorful cashmere sweaters, a $20 bill in my pocket, and sneakers. Because when I get to the gates, I have no idea how far my cloud is. So I want to be comfortable walking there. And you don't know if there is a concession stand. I want to have a little pocket money for a snack.
Sounds like a treatment to me.
It makes me giggle, and it's true. It's true. I did it a few months into the pandemic because I had a lot of time to think about it.
It really sounds like a treatment. Like you and Albert Brooks are gonna.
Oh my God!
Do this.
I don't even. I can't even carry his cape.
Yeah, Albert Brooks's.
Albert.
You can't carry his cape.
No, I mean he's a genius.
Yeah, you're a genius. He's an actor. His brother was a pretty substantial guy too.
Super Dave. Oh my God. My wife loved him. Had a hat, Super Dave hat. Oh my God.
Did you ever ask Albert Brooks about his real name?
I have actually almost never met him.
Oh.
Here's my bucket list is very short. And I want to win a Tony Award on Broadway, and I better hurry up because I'm 76. I'd like to work until I can't. I would like to fly fish until I can't. And I would love to go to lunch with Mel Brooks, but I can never seem to make that happen.
I can't believe, well, I ran into, when I was young and living in LA, I was working on the Disney lot and he was eating at the commissary and I couldn't
No,
resist.
I
walked
met
out.
him once. I shook hands with him. I met him twice, actually, and I shook hands with him. And
He couldn't have been nicer when I interrupted his lunch.
yeah, I was good friends with Carl Reiner, but I have yet to have lunch with Mel.
And Rob Reiner, you produced one of his movies.
Yes, the first, really his first, and the first for my company. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, you
John
launched a
Cusack.
huge career.
Yeah, John. Well, I had to call the mayor of Chicago in order to emancipate John Cusack because he was underage to come and make the film.
Well, I watched it again, and really, it's well done. And you started a massive career. I mean, everything Rob Reiner did for the next 10 years.
Yeah, well, he's great.
Well, this was part of my bucket list, was interviewing you.
Oh wow!
I really am grateful.
Okay.
He Liev Schreiber directed but didn't star in Everything is Illuminated, which is one of the recommended films in my book, and timely now because it's about somebody who goes back to Ukraine to find his family's roots. And it's a remarkable film. And he was in Defiance.
Yes.
And of course,
great Daniel Craig.
And he's been in more than one too. Also very good films. And of course, Liza Minnelli was in Cabaret, which
right. And then she was in Arrested Development.
And Tarantino, who lives about 20 minutes from me, but I have no way of.
I have no idea how I got that lunch. I mean, when I looked at my itinerary, I saw this is out of the blue. However, I had the most wonderful time with him. He is so present and funny and wonderful.
Yeah, and he made an incredible film,
he
Glorious Bastards.
He sure did.
Which was loosely based. I don't know if you know this story. It was loosely based on a group of Americans named the Ritchie Boys from Fort
I
Ritchie.
just saw the Ritchie Boys on a story on 60 Minutes, a magazine show here in America.
And you know that one of the Ritchie Boys was J.D. Salinger.
I had no idea.
A German Jewish speaking kid who went back and during the war and did intelligence.
Wow.
That's in the book too. Where I review Inglourious Bastards, I give that whole history.
Yeah.
So listen, you've been great. I really appreciate it. And
so do I. And thank you for sending me your book. And the next time I'm in Israel, I hope I get to shake your hand.
Please. And if I'm in LA, I can call.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I appreciate it. I'll send Dana or Dana?
Dana.
I'll send Dana.
She's the greatest. Yeah.
A link. And I'm sure Tim will, you should see Tim's film.
I will. I'll look for it. I will look for
it. The film is just be unbelievable.
And give my best to your sister.
Thank you so much. I also wanted to tell you, by the way, when I requested from my publisher to send you a copy of the book, the person there who I deal with says, "Oh my God, you have to tell Henry Winkler that I started reading because of his books."
Oh, wow.
She was
so I've written with my partner 37 novels for children.
She was like, "I can't, you have to tell him." And then I almost forgot.
What is her name?
Her name is Savannah Clemens.
You have to give Savannah my warmest regards.
You're too much. And I will also give your warmest regards to my partner who was at Seder with you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Are you kidding? Did we look for the afikoman together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jewish Elvis found the Afikoman that night.
Yeah. See, because for me, there's no family holdback. If there is a prize involved, I'm knocking the kid out of the way.
Is that a phrase in your family, FHB? Do you like whisper FHB, family hold back?
No, but it's like this unwritten law, but I am the first person online for the dinner.
That piece of roast beef is yours.
Well, I want to get it warm.
Like from diner. Are you going to eat that? No. Yeah, I'm going to eat that. Of course I'm going to eat that. Why do you?
Yeah, no, but I don't wait for the answer. Hey, you're going to finish that? Good. Boom. I take it with my fork.
You know that scene from Diner.
I do.
I when I was young and living in Hollywood, I had a company, by the way. For 15 years I lived in LA. And at the end of Nightline and Oprah and NPR, they say, if you want a transcript of this show.
Yes.
That was my company. I created it from scratch. It was on Burbank and Pass, the transcription, the transcription company. And but I at one point I was working. I had to go to that script writing class with what's his name? The famous.
I do. Make something.
Right, and I sat next to Gutenberg, and it was right after he had done Diner. And he did the bit. He did the roast beef bit right there for me.
Say the words. I want the roast beef sandwich. Say the words and I'll give you a piece.
Would you guys cut this out? I mean, every time.
Well, if he doesn't talk, he just...
Well, you know what he means, right?
He's great. Steve is great. He goes to the gym a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he goes to the gym for me too, because the last time I went to the gym, I think was 58.
I'll chat with you forever. You're such a mensch. It's so wonderful. So I will send it out to Dana, and I really maybe we can do this again sometime.
Sure.
When you're bored, and I can find out your next codicil and what you've added to the coffin.
Well, at the moment, that's it.
Yeah, but maybe you'll change.
They're all practical. You don't know where trout are.
Well, yeah, but you might find out that later you really like chess, and then so you want like a.
Yeah, no, I like saying the word chess. My mind doesn't work that way. I'm always in checkmate. Three moves, I'm in checkmate.
Yeah, I hear
anyway,
you.
have a great. Is it the evening for you?
Yeah, it's dark out.
Yeah,
it was 5:30 when we started. It's cold, cold in Israel.
Got it.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.